So hello everyone. Um, I'm working with that new game week portfolio builder jam. So 60 joined and I only left 5 days and 5 hours. Didn't even start the project, but I already got the idea. So my idea be like this. Oh yeah, and then first of all, let's go with our rules. Optional sim is an anomaly, but we can create for any topic. I guess I will stick with Anomaly thing and no AI, so no copilot. Just delete everything here, and we will not be using AI at all, just at all, at any stage, including creation of assets, text, thumbnails, and code, or in search and development. So okay, I'm not. I don't know how to create assets, text, thumbnails, but I know how to create code and I know how to research. And yeah, and I know how to develop the games. So all the beautiful part is for my friends. Um, Also, you may be asked to show some evidence of work in progress if something in your Okay, no racism, sexism, transphobia. That don't know what the hell those three are. Your submission may still deal with these themes if done sensitively, okay, and appropriately. Okay, so this rule, it's not about the rule. I meant I'm not going to break this rule anyway. NCPV, not safe for work, as 18 plus age rated submission must be clearly labeled as such. Okay, the rule which I don't like either, I meant I'm not gonna disrupt that. You must have worked on your submission during the week's project. It can be something new, something started before the jam, or even a submission to a previous jam, as long as you have worked further on it during this week. You may also submit your project to no more than two other gems. This doesn't include other weeks of this gem. You can submit to any number of portfolio builders gems. Okay. Your project must be free, so anyone can play or view it in full without paying. Mm. Yeah, I like this one. Okay. Yeah, this gem is for anyone. The gem is weekly to give regular targets to work towards. Okay, take whatever approach you want, but I recommend defining what you want to work on the beginning of the week. Set a goal or goal. So rather than yeah. Okay, so basically it will be like the open world thing. Why cannot I draw? So it will be like the open world thing, and I'm wondering if I should create it on like in a grid format. So it will be like this. There will be tree. Most games are made in this way, you know. Tree, like mountains, fruits, etc. And there will be some anomalies like the cow with two legs. And when you find those anomalies, you need to either fight them or just to discover them. Yeah, it's like anomaly discoverers, so we go with just discovery. The more thing you discover, the better it is. So, and the first step is to create this level designer. I want it to be random. I want it to be random. Uh, I want it to be randomly generated, like he puts one anomaly there, one anomaly here, And some obstacles like, I don't know, there is trees, there is some kind of thing. Hey, you know what? I would better to do it on my own, but some world generation thing must be automatic, I would say. Okay, so with that, let's open. Sorry, we our Unity Hub. Project, new project. We got the new version. Mm, Should I go with 2022 one? You know, I am more comfortable with this one. What is the latest version? Okay, Unity 6. Official releases, install editor. They got updated already, you know. F1, it's like 341. Yeah, so if I create something here, no. Okay, let's create with, with this one. It's like universal 2D or 3D. In a 3D, hmm, would my game be in the 3D or 2D? Yeah, let's create in 2D. So that unit organization, anomaly, discover. Okay, this one fine. What is it? I don't know what's that. Oh, normally this cover. Now until that we go with okay, we need so we need a unity thing. How to make an object fall. Work, Working with a grid. And okay, I was learning them one. So we got Unity documentation. That's what we need. Yeah, on the C sharp. Oh no way! and we need a YouTube thing. So there is a pathfinding in Unity.
In this video, we're going to learn how to implement a
Yeah, this one. So let's name it. Name it to the actual the game. And we got the main camera. I don't like this color. You know what? Too white, too. Actually, it doesn't matter. Let it be the full black, and we need to create some game objects. Create empty, so it will be like the world designer, world creator. It will be and it will include world creator. Which got this world creator. I don't know how to do it. So okay, none of here.
A-star pathfinding.
Okay, here I have learned one thing. Was it there?
Let's get to it. So before we get to the code, this note. So and let's make a entire path.
Oh yeah, it was this finding building area.
In this video, we're going to make a grid map to cut our world into vertices, and it's a grid map. Let's
So we need that thing. So yeah, we don't need mono behavior. I believe. No, but no, mono behavior is needed. Just need to make sure. When private start, we need to be able to create world. Create world thing, and this world will be right there. Private void create world is gonna give two arrays, integer width and integer height. So let's go on 10 to 20.
all right. So
I do believe we need this thing. Private integer grid of world.
this is our grid. Let's make a game of certain width and okay. And now is well. All right. Let's see. And you the width around the cone is running. Here that we want to display is
okay, now I need to understand this logic quite nicely. So what it does is for integer, sorry, we need this one, great world is a grid actually a function name?
right. See? Dot object equals new grid. Behavior. Instead going to make a bracket. This is how we define a multi-dimensional array with two.
Okay, you know what? Let's do that.
Dimensions. So we alright.
No integer with width and height. Something here is missing. I do believe we still need this one. You know what? Let's make how I know. To make world function, then we go with for int for integer is equal 0, then e must be less than grid world точка get length of 0. Oh, so it will be like the first variable. Yeah, it will be like the first variable here, 0, and it's going to apply to the width. So if it's like this, we got the integer here, width, no, integer. What's going on there? Width and height there. So, and it's going to be like equal to integer. So, and here it's going to be integer width is equal integer integer actually integer name get length of 0. Yeah, so basically if we need a width of then get length, so it's going to give us 10. Okay, let's check it for now. Public, no, debug.log and put just the E, value of the E. Okay, what's that? Yeah, I guess I missed. Here. Here's a problem. I'm interested if he knows where to find it. Why doesn't he fix it himself? I meant the compiler. So it's like E. Yeah, again the mistake here. I don't know why I'm making so many mistakes. 0, 9. Yeah, till the 9. So it's working correctly. Now we need another thing for integer. G is equal 0. We got G over grid world get length and J++.
Alright, so now it's in here that we want to display is 2.
Okay, there is just a checking.
And now in here we need to know where we're going to position our text object. But here, creates a game object. As you can see, here is the function in case you want to go.
Okay, so we need to work this out.
Don't let you say certain positions in concrete. As you can see, it just creates a game object.
Okay, so public static. Why no? Okay, no. How we need to? Static game object create block. So we need to create the block. No, sorry, create the block. Down game object is game object is equal new game object. Okay, so at the end return game object. Return this game object. Yeah. You know what? Let's hear how to create a game object through code. Back to documentation. Unity manual. Okay, Unity 2D. Yeah, by the way, I need to open I use Unity 2022-3. Yeah, this one. Do I use this one? No. Offline offline documentation. Okay, so it has terrain tools, tree editor, Unity properties. Rebuilt and inspected object returns. What the heck? Event functions. Oh, I know this. First one is awake, then start, then update, then fixed update, then late update, then other things. Yeah, coroutines are good as well if you want to wait for an amount of the seconds. Sorry, what's going on there? Yeah, okay. They don't want to give me access to coroutines. Yes, so anyway, where is it? Okay, I need an AI to understand how to create this one. But okay. So what is it? Yeah, I can go here. Come on, what's wrong with my internet though? GitHub examples and documentation. Oh yeah, I'm out for like two to 5 minutes. Yeah, that's AI as well. Creating game object in Unity. Creating game object in Unity with code. Okay, what is that?
Please watch the video in object.
Ah, now I know how to do it. So stop. You know what? We can. Yeah, actually, we might not need this because if you cannot do something, then just instantiate it. You know, like instantiate. So we need to get private game objects. I'm sorry, game object. So it will be like the list, and we would call that blocks. Oh yeah. So we got. Oh, sorry, I forgot header. References, or was it attributes? I never mind. So we need a serialized file, and this is it. So it must be thousands there. So we got the instantiate thing. We need to instantiate the block, a position, instantiate. Okay, so we need original. Okay, so we got a position, rotation. No, we don't need this. So we got instantiate, original name, transform parent, game object blocks, and then position. Let it be the position. Let it be the position one. transform position точка. Yeah, let's call it transform. So, transform точка position точка x. Точка x is equal I. Transform точка position точка y is equal j. Okay, I guess I'm doing something wrong there out there. How to get the position of it? Okay, we have made a tons of the mistake now. Instantiate. Instantiate method. Was it instantiate though? I don't know. Like.
Nice. Okay, delete that code, that was just for sillies, but it shows us how we can use code to... Okay, so the secret of Flappy Bird is that while it looks like a bird is flapping along through a world of pipes, it's actually not. The bird stays completely still, and it's the pipes that move across the screen. So in step position to get the position of the
Okay, so instantiate.
object holding the script. That will make it spawn on top.
Instantiate. Now we got this. Ow. Oh shit. That's the problem actually. So we got the game object blocks. We don't need this actually. No. So if we go like here, then here we need to go include like this, and then some position variable. new game object transformation. Okay, so let's go work with just one block for now to make it clear. So we got block
top of the spawner, and for rotation, great. Transform.rotation, so
transform touch dot position.
again, got that amount. What we're going to do now is
okay, so it has its own transform. I believe we don't need this. Transform position.
write some code to make a timer. This will count up for a specified number of seconds, run some code, and counts up in update, spawn as it refresh is possible in the future. And we've met code in here, every up, spawn up. It would be good at the start in multiple and change just bracket in executed. And with that done, it will make a pipe as soon as the game begins, and we'll make new pipes every time the timer maxes out. Perfect. However, this is a pretty boring game, right? The pipes always come out in the middle. We want them to come out at random heights. So remember that when we wrote the instantiate code, we had to pick a position for
this transform touchdown. Transform touch rotation. Oh shit! It works now. Control F. I do believe you forgot this. X is equal to Y. Position. How to get position? Okay. game object, game object. Okay, so we got this. You know what actually?
The object as the point, height of, because we're making this variable 10, and then we'll make a float rather than we can set it a point to number for a vector floats, a minimum and a max, say 0 for z, 9 and close the bracket.
You know what? We can create this new vector 3. So we got x, y. New vector 3. Oh, okay. Then we got here I and j. Like 5 to 5. Sorry. So this square 1 1 1 1 1. Okay, so 0 0. So let's indicate the green. Actually, no, what I'll do it here. Create folder with prefix. So we got to delete this. Yeah, that's working. Well, that's working perfectly fine. So now I need to create the empty. This will be the actual rename that actual to the like I don't know. Let's plot. Let's name it to the block rename file. We need to get sprite renderer. Sprite renderer. Okay, 0.9 and like 0.9. Like the color will be like this, and his color will be like this. Now let's make it. Oh, find square. Mm, let's see under. Well, fine. 0.9 and here we got 0.9. Uh, like it's like maybe like one. Okay. Oh shit. Now okay. Let's be like a greener point. 9.5 and 9.5, and these lines to be a bit of a bit of I don't know what's what the heck happened now. It's kind of working in the way it must work. So, shit. We kind of did it. We kind of did it. And here we go, integer is equal minus weights is equal minus j. And I know what, to make it like central, should we move the camera or should we create like the full version of it? I do believe. Okay, with and height is multiplied by 2. Like 2 and added and added and added plus 1. So it's 5 5, then it should be like 11 to 11. 11 to 11. Let's check it. Так, minus 8, sorry. Hmm. Weight multiplied by 2 plus 1 and weight multiplied by 2 plus 1. Okay, so it should be like 11 to 11. Shit, they ain't. They are not at the center though. Maybe because it's world creation thing. Well, that's strange. Which altered tokens one number 16. Where the heck this other health came from? Where the heck this other? Oops. Yeah, they said to bug up. It's that. Okay, so we need to delete this and delete this. Squad. Something is wrong here with my code. Oh shit. That's it. Well, the logic is mine. So each alter focus on. Weight plus 1, age plus 1. Yeah, perfect. Now, it's like 2 to 4. 2 to 4. Yeah, 10 to 10. Okay, so yeah, so grass. Is it is it really called grass, by the way? Grass. Yeah, it's called grass. Got grass, and we need control well, so we need rename the mountain. Oops. Now I know that we can do the same with the transform thing. I don't know, I'm not liking. So there is no mountain thing, there is a square. I'm going to delete it and we need to delete and delete that. To the object sprites square. Okay, square. So from 0 to 0. Sprite render is like this gray 0.95, 0.91, 0.95. We call this rename grass, rename grass. Add here, delete both. Okay, add here, add here. Okay, so mountains, trees, holes, name. What type of thing we got? Animals. Yeah, why not animals to get this? So mountains will be, I don't know, is that this color? Okay, holes, black, and grass, same trees. I do believe this fine. Animals, let it be. Oh, this one. So that the world creator, game objects, blocks, game object blocks. Now we need to add. Yeah, block objects. No, you know what? Random random range. Oh, random range from zero to blocks length. Okay, to int.
brackets. Back in Unity, for Z, bronze. Transformed opposite 3 vector.
And range. Oh shit, that's why. I know there's something wrong here. Oh, like method. Okay. I do believe that must work. The vertical log. Log length. Not clear that. Oh shit, that's why. Oh shit, that's all. Okay, so I'm gonna add them all. Then run. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Can we go? Sprite renderer. Okay. Well, I want to create my player now. So let's go create empty 2D. What are the physics? Dynamic sprite. Yeah, that's funny. 2D sprite tile map. Nine slice dot is it? Nah, not nice. Sprite capsule. Nice. Mm, at least 10. Ah, that's why. Nah, capsule, not idea. Circle, hexagon is a isometric diamond. Yeah, actually circle would be nice. Or just this circle guy. Yeah, this circle guy. So it's like 0, 0 would be what? Yeah, let it be what? Hmm. So it should be like minus 1. It should be like what the heck perspective? I don't know. Yeah, that's some kind of insane shit. Look at the player. Okay, so we got the player layer. Go back. We got the player layer. Tag, yeah, player. Let it be blocks. Hmm. That's kind of shit. No. Hmm. Sorting layers. Hmm. Oh, sorting group. Okay, so we got this. Here we go. And here we got sorting group. Order in layer. I don't know how it's supposed to be. Samted circle. It's our player. So we need the sorting group, and we got the player. So order in layer 2. Okay, you know what? I do believe this is something that we don't need. The same here. Usually I was able to do it from the Z perspective. But seemingly no. We are left with the last choice, and that is well there. What's correct? Okay, so yeah, I do believe it is sorting group, sorting layer, player order in layer. Okay, so it's it. Sorting group blocks. Okay, let's do it through. Um, Shit! I was doing it in the wrong order though. Sorting layers. Ah, now it's working correctly. Okay, now we need to our player to be 8. Sorry, 0.8 and 0.0.8. Sorting order. I don't care about the. I don't care about this because they will be like in one spot. Control S. 10 to 10. Okay, let's create some massive world now. 10 by 10. 10 by 10. Okay, so good. Oh. Now, grass, grass army. Okay, so I'd like to form a world, great world, the great stress, and great grass. Okay, control S. Oh, you know what? It would be nice to give them a number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Not, not a great idea though. Nah, great, great grass is equal new integer. New integer 1 to 1. If I is equal to grid grid grass length to any values. Nah, okay. Yeah, that logic is quite out. Let's how let's do something simple one. I I is equal to 0 and and j is equal to 0, then we're going to instantiate yeah, new integer random number is equal random range 0 to w, 0 to blocks length random num random number. Okay, so random number. Oopsie, sorry. Random number, random number. Num is to be equal to 0. So is that. So first one is the grass, then trees, then animals, then mountains, then hops. To green. Okay, yeah, we'll be green again. Oopsie. Holes. Okay, now before I leave, I want my player to be movable. So let's create a player control. Player controller. Yeah, it's a new script. So assert the player controller. So it's a mono behavior, private void start. Private void start, just to make sure it exists. So private void on press. How is that? How is it? Oh no, private void update. Void. Yeah. Yeah, if key code точка if key key code точка space nah, the W key code W shit. I know how to do it, you know.
Will be made C, which is with or get them component Burlington velocity. And with slot and voila, we have established a line of communication between the script and the rigid body. Okay, back in Visual Studio. In lookable property bar, in here, and in this case, it's used to represent a direction for the bird, a good one. I'm going to use vector 2 dot fly over again every frame. So if we save the script and hit play on over and over again, fine. Now, like I said before, any
Hey, you know, actually, should we do it with the velocity though? I want to make it so like whenever I press something, so when I just press right, it will go here, tung tung. But I guess with the velocity things are better, I would say. Okay, then velocity, then velocity. I need to rigid body 2D, collider, circle collider 2D. So dynamic, now kinematic, because I want to use it on my own, and yeah, I need a player controller at the end. Okay, here. Serialize file, private rigid body 2D, RB. So it's a common way.
code and hit. We want and put the flat code in here. So now in update, every frame the game will go to the gate.
Input. Shit. get key down. Here we go, a space. Yeah, key code W. Okay, let's if key code W, then we go. Should I use the velocity or yeah? Okay. B dot Integrated body has velocity thing. Vector to up, so it will be like the up multiplied by time delta time, and it's some values like speed, and here we got void private void, not void, it maybe float, yeah, float speed is equal 10 0 f. Though there was a better way. Anyway, I know there was a better way, but I'm gonna do it when I'll be like free. W A S and W A S D. So with up, it's going to be left. So down and right. Okay, a fatal mistake. So get to play with body to. Ah, come on, must be 100.
and be asked, hey, has the spacebar just been pressed? If yes, the code will next. Ta-da.
I guess the time is killing the shit out of it. Do we need time though? It's what I like. And though the velocity is never ending. Other time we go with the velocity is equal 0. That is the worst possible implementation. This game type though. That's the worst possible type of implementation. So, okay. Character, moving character. Moving character. Okay, yeah, movement. Hmm. Character movement to the Unity.
A
A
moving and
moving and
jumping
jumping
effect would
effect would
make a
make a
simple
simple
tutorial
tutorial
about
about
player
player
movement with
movement with
Unity's
Unity's
old
old
input
input
system.
system.
So
So
let's
let's
boot up
boot up
Unity and
Unity and
see where
see
the
where the
magic
magic
happens.
happens.
I
I
set up a
set up a
small
small
demo
demo
scene with
scene
some
with some
blood
So,
sport.
bloodsport.
sorry, what is the dash though?
Dashing is
Dashing is
probably
probably
one of
one
the
of the
most
most
implemented
implemented
features in
features in
video
video
games.
games.
And what
And
I
what I
mean by
mean by
that
that
is
is
that there
that
are
there
at
are at
least
least
2 or 3
3
games
games
with
with
dash.
dash.
Oh my goodness, no.
So
So
why not
why not
implement it
implement
in
it
your
in
own
your own
game?
game?
I
I
set up a
set up a
small
small
demo
demo
scene with
scene
a
with a
moving and
moving and
jumping
jumping
player.
player.
Before we
Before we
implement
implement
dashing,
dashing,
let's add
let's
a
add a
trail
trail
renderer to
renderer
our
to our
player.
player.
I
I
like to
like to
change the
change the
width,
width,
time,
time,
and
and
color,
color,
but
but
wall
wall
sliding and
sliding
wall
and wall
jumping
jumping
have been
have
the
been the
most
most
requested
requested
features
features
on this
on this
channel
channel
so
so
far.
far.
So
So
without
without
further
further
ado,
ado,
let's
let's
roll up
roll
our
up our
sleeves and
sleeves and
finally
finally
make your
make your
wish
wish
come
come
true.
true.
I
I
prepared a
prepared a
sample
sample
scene
scene
with a
with a
controllable
controllable
player.
player.
So, okay. Okay, need to know the final result.
Myself
Myself
as a
as a
beginner and
beginner,
I
and I
still have
still
a
have a
lot to
lot to
learn.
learn.
But
But
if this
if the
solution
solution
works for
works for
you as
you as
well as
well
it
as
does
it
for
does for
me,
me,
please
please
leave a
leave a
like and
like and
consider
consider
subscribing.
subscribing.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
watching
watching,
and I'll
and
see
I'll
you
see
in
you
next
next
Okay.
Welcome pals to a new video. Today we are going to make. We can also create a new game object by right-clicking the hierarchy. Right now we don't have a sprite. Let's add a component in cases like. I'd also like the final even more control of what I've shown today. 0. How fast you stop and how fast you can pivot. If we want the player to only be able to jump when they press the jump button, we can replace this y input check with something like input.getButtonDown jump. By default, pretty good. Now, of course, we haven't got any advanced mechanics or moving cameras, but we can save all of that for an advanced platform and not every game needs to be current input. Y input, we can, and that is the update. So that is a shaded material, but
Okay, this. Oh, I like this one.
To do movement in under a minute, start by adding a square to the scene. Now click Add Component and type in Player Controller. Then click New Script Create. Add a rigid body to D and a box collider to D. Then set the rigid body's gravity scale to 0. Open the script. Create a speed variable and a rigid body variable. In the start function, get the rigid body component we added earlier. Now in Update, create two variables, one for horizontal input, one for vertical input.
Oh, I like this
Take the
one.
player's input from W and ST with the arrow keys. Set the rigid body's velocity to a vector through using the two variables we just created and multiplied by speed. Now save and run. That's how to do. To do movement in under a minute, start by adding a square to the scene.
Yeah, I like this one. No. Horizontal movement. Yeah, what would be that? Horizontal movement is input get axis, and then we got the horizontal thing. Right. Float. Move. The vertical movement. Oops. Vertical movement. We got input get axis. Move vertical. Move vertical. So RB rigid body. Wow, what the heck? Rigid body velocity is kind of equal. New vector. Why not move horizontal movement? So horizontal will be like X. Yeah. Horizontal movement, vertical movement, and multiplied by speed. Serialized field of private rigid body 2D RB, and that's it. So rigid body 2D. Okay, argument input axis horizontal is not so changing. Like it. Yeah, that's the same mistake I have made once. So control S, clear. Yes, 5. Speed 5 is enough. Or let it 6. I'm not liking it, but it's not showing where the mistake is. So yeah, let's do with the holes first. No, we don't need trees, we don't need so all we need grass, mountains, holes. Yeah, this 3. Um Now what I would like to see. Mm-hmm. 80, 20% allowed, 20% allowed, 20, like, okay, if 20%, if 20% is 20%, random nap is equal 0. Is it like, it's 80%, so we need to create a new private void. Let's do it private as well. Private void. Nice. private boolean is 20 is 80%. Is 80%. Okay, no. If random num not equal to 0, and is 80%, okay, no random range from 0 to 9, from 0 to 10, yeah, okay, 0 to 5, yeah, if just value, if check integer checker is equal, if checker is equal 0, then return true, return then return true, else else return false. So I need to understand my logic myself first. So this, okay, so if it is if it is not grass, then it has 18% chance to be grass. So this means that if the block is the mountain or the hole, then it has a 80% of chance to be a grass. So we are going to make it grass again. Okay, so we go here, integer checker, so it choose return true. No, it's not. Oh yeah, return false and return true. This means that there will be more grass now by like 80%. Oh, what a beautiful. Yeah. Should I? Okay, you know what? Also, we got if random num is equal 1 and is 20%. That like, yeah, 50%. Percentage to be deleted. Percentage to be percentage. You know what? Active percent. Active percentage. I would like to make it an active percentage. And so we got here. If it is equal to 2, if it is whole, and there that not can be welcome, then it has 80% chance to be deleted. To be deleted. I guess that makes lots of sense. Yeah, so if it is a mountain, it has 50% chance to be deleted. Okay, so we got here a new int. I get just without int value. So they give some. What's wrong with that? Oh, sorry. And here we go. Else if random num equal to 0. Random range from 100 from 0 to 100. So if it is less than value, so this must give us more mountains and less holes. Actually, there are quite more. Okay, so integer checkers from 1 to 100. Oh yeah, it should be true, and that must be false. So it generating 8 values from 100. So if checkers like 75, it was 95, then it returns false. I don't believe I got this understanding. Okay, I'm not quite understanding the logic of my own code. So it's going to give 80% here, and then from 0 to 100. So in 80% it should be deleted, right? So whenever the checker is less than the value, so it's like 75, then it has to be deleted. So we return true. Okay, now I made sense of myself. Oh, you see, there are more. There are more mountains all of a sudden. Yeah, I like these mountains to be honest. Quite nice halls though as well. So now we need to follow player script for our camera. Yeah, follow script. Okay, let's remember how we used to do that. So I need to get the reference. So we need okay what? Okay, we need a serialized file. We need the player first of all. Private. A game object. and let's call it player because it's the player. Void update, transform position. Oh, okay, let's imagine that I know it and I'm doing it myself without any help. And play. I remember that it wasn't enough because there is also something that is needed, like maybe time delta time. No, it was in the fixed update, but let's see if it works because I remember I got the problem the first time I did this, and yeah, and it doesn't work. Reference. So main camera is going to follow the player. Okay, what the heck on? Oh yeah, that was a problem. Z to be static, so it's going to follow, you know what, -10. You know what, we can simply touch the X. So why cannot I do that? Okay, no vector 2. No, actually vector 3 because we need the third part as well. Okay, so we need player transform точка position точка y and then z, and I guess that's so. Yeah, the vector 2. Yeah, so z value is not changed. So oh, that's quite nice. Oh, I do believe player is quite big, so let's make it 0. It's quite funny. Oh yeah, that works fine now. It can go here, here. Yeah, that's quite fun to play. Let's get massive though. Oh, it's gonna be massive. It's gonna get massive. Okay. Not that big though. Or is that? Oh, wow. So basically, if I want to go to the other side, then it's kind of blocked, blocked everywhere. So I want to go the other side. Oops, to pick. So we go other way around. To pick. Oh, wow. So this part is inaccessible at all. Now I do believe we need to create some kind of barrier that stops from interacting with mountains and with grass. So yeah, their layer is blocks. So holes. Oh my goodness, so rigid body and this thing called sprite renderer. No, uh, mask. How was it called? Collider. Ah yeah, blocks collider 2D. It's triggered. Yes, it's triggered. Oh no, kinematic. So layer, block. We need to add tag. What would tag be? Tag be. Mm, tag be. Hole. It's like this area where you cannot walk. And let's change the color of this hole to black. To black this color. So we got holes. Holes to be hole. Oh, wow. Hole. So we need to our player, rigid body, circle collider. Yeah, is trigger. That's alright. Where are the holes now? Collision detection continues. I don't know. Continuous collision detection. So follow player. Player controller. Oh, private void. Yeah, no, it's on collision. Private void on collision. On collision, enter 2D, collision, yeah, collision, colli, colli, if collision, compare tags, what was it, compare tags, game object, how was it? Collision, yeah. If collision, game object, compare tag. Why don't compare tags? So the tag is the same as a whole. And then I would no. Interestingly, no, with the bug find log mm, whole. It has to be pushed back a bit. Interesting. Mm. Simulated canon continuous collision detection is triggered used by a factor if private void on collision enter. It's not even detecting collision, I guess, or it's not detecting. Yeah, it's not detecting collision. Liar is equal blocks. Tags. Liar mask. Yeah, it's not detecting even the collision itself. What's wrong with me? Detecting collision, collision unity. Collision 2D.
In this video, we're going to cover how to handle simple collisions in Unity. We're going to look at colliders, rigid bodies, and all the various events. Let's begin! Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey, and this channel is all about helping you learn how to make your own games with in-app tutorials made by a professional indie game developer. So if you find the video helpful, consider subscribing. Okay, so this is a very simple beginner video. I'm making this because I've seen a lot of comments by people confused with how to get collisions working. One of the issues I see is a lot of people cannot get their triggers to register.
It can be a bit tricky, so let's check it out. So for starters, let's make a new game object. So in here, create an empty one, and let's call this our health potion. And now let's add a component of type box collider 2D. Let's potion add a collider and make it just big enough to capture the whole picture. Okay. Alright, empty game object, this will be our player. And inside we have a component of type capsule collider 2D, okay? And then also a visual, so a sprite render. Alright, so here it is, the sprite with the capsule collider on top. So now that we have these two simple objects, let's see how we can handle collisions. So first of all, on the health potion, over here on the collider properties, you can see we have a bunch of things we can change. For example, over here we have a box called isTrigger. This makes it so that this object is not physically solid and only triggers an event. This is great, for example, for making the player pick up an item. So we do want the player to be able to get inside of this box, so this is meant to be just a trigger, okay? And for the player, we'll leave it as not a trigger since we want it to be a solid object. Okay, and now in here I have a simple script with some basic movements, so just add it to the player. And here you see the script is extremely small, very simple. Here we just have a function that's being called on update, called handle our movement, and we're testing for inputs and moving our transform. That's it, very simple. And now in order to capture our trigger, we need to add a function. So we're going to add a function on trigger enter TD. So this is the function that is called whenever this object is involved in a collision with a trigger. So here let's just add a debug.log and say something. Alright, so let's test. Okay, here we are, and I can move the player around. Alright, makes sense. And now let's check out the log whenever I approach the item, and I go and nope, we have nothing happening. So this is the part that really confuses some people. They both have their colliders correctly set up, so why is nothing happening? Well, the reason is because the physics system is meant to work with rigid bodies and not just empty colliders. So here in our player, we need to add a rigid body, in this case, rigid body 2D. And here, since we're working on top-down, in order to make it not fall down, just set gravity to 0. However, the item itself does not need a rigid body. In order to get the collisions working, we just need one of the objects in the interaction to have a rigid body. So the item is fine just like this, just a box collider with its trigger set to true, and the player has a capsule collider and a rigid body. Okay, so now let's test this. Okay, here we are, and I can still move, and if I go towards the item, there you go, now we have our triggers correctly working. Awesome. So as you can see, it's very simple to fix this issue with collisions not triggering. All you need to do is make sure that you have at least one rigid body in that.
Yeah, so this box collider is trigger. Trigger is no, it's not triggered yet. Yeah, it has a box collider.
Physics interaction. So now let's look at some more collisions. Alright, so over here I made a static wall and a bunch of debris. So the wall is meant to be static, and we should be able to push the rocks around. So here on the wall, all we have is a simple box collider, and you can see it is not a trigger. And on the rocks, they also have a box collider, and in addition to that, they have a rigid body set to dynamic. We have the rigid body since we want the rocks in order to be influenced by the physicist. And over here on the player, here let's set the rigid body from dynamic and put it as kinematic. So this is important, and we'll see what this does. And now back in our player code, we should rework our movement code and move it into the fixed update due to physics. Okay, so here we're using the rigid body to the move position function in order to move our player. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we are, and I just replaced the player with a nice animated character instead of a simple sprite, but it works exactly the same, so I can still move just like normal. And now over here we have our rocks, and if I move towards them, yep, there you go, as you can see, I can correctly push around the rocks. Alright, so that looks good. However, let's go into the wall, and there you go, the wall does not work, and I can go straight through it. So here we have some weird issues. Now, the problem in this case is because we set our rigid body to be kinematic. So kinematic means that it will not be affected by outside forces. So as I move the rigid body towards the wall will not be able to block it. But being kinematic, it still affects other objects, so that's why we can still push these rocks around. Now here, if we modify the rigid body type from kinematic and place it as dynamic, and now we test. Okay, so here we are, and yep, I can still push the rocks. Okay, great. And now on the wall, and yep, there you go. Now the wall does indeed work as a solid object. So if you have issues with your objects not colliding, pay attention to whether or not they are supposed to be kinematic. If you want to learn more about physics interactions, including how layers
Well, it's because it's like not dynamic, gravity scale 0, simulated. Okay, so more player, camera. So we got
of time that are proper then we want and moving our transform. That's it, very simple. And I can look at them, completion is where we are, awesome. Push the rocks around. You can see it is not taken in what this does. And now back in our player code, we should rework our movement code and move it into the fixed update.
controllers. Okay, trigger. Oh, can't understand why the hell my collider is not working. It is not working at all. On three. Oh, maybe because of this on trigger. No, was it the same? Private void on trigger enter to D. Void collision on enter to D. Oopsie. Oh wow. Yeah, it's not stopping me though. Vector 2 0 multiplied by 0. Yeah, if I got the question, if I use the velocity, should I be using it in a fixed update or update? Okay, yeah, let's learn it. Fixed update. Oh, there it goes. Frame rate independent mode behavior fixed message for physical calculations. Fixed frame rate physics. Okay. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, so update count +1. Yeah, so we need to go with it. Fixed update times move speed times fixed delta точка delta yeah time точка fixed delta time delta fixed delta time. Well, it's gonna mess it up the game because I mean the game speed. Oopsie. Yeah, that's it. But it all depends on the computers. I do believe. I still don't know what this. Oh, fast, but not enough. Wow. Fast. quite fast. 600. Mm. 200, I guess. That looks quite fine. Yeah, you guys.
Due to physics. On enter, stay, exit, just like that. Right. So here are all of our nice collision events. Okay, now let's apply this to some interesting behavior. Okay, here's my point event. When you go in, over here we can enter a bunch of collision states and collision together. So that is set to being on trigger pay attention. No, which gets called whenever a collider enters another one that is set to be a trigger. Then we also have the private void on collision enter QD. This one works the same when it enters, except this works with a collider that is not set to be a trigger. And another difference is the parameter in this function is a collision instead of a collider. So the collision contains a bunch of information on the collision that happened, like all the various contact points, collision velocity, and so on. Then we also have the on collision exit and on trigger exit. So these get called whenever the collision between the two objects ends. And then finally we have the on collision stay and on trigger stay. These are called on every physics update while the collisions are active. So let's add logs on all of them.
Okay. The collision unit is stopping.
In this video, we're execution and this catalyst tech. So now, no,
Oh, stop. Can we do
yeah,
this?
space, and no longer go through this wall. It just kind of hits up right against it. So why is that working? Is because this wall,
Stop. Can we do that simple as static though? Because if I go holes, it's triggered which are web. Yeah, simulated kinematic dynamic. Yeah, they to be rigid body 2D, so they got, and they are static, so it means they just stayed they just stayed here without doing anything. Okay, so compare tags. Yeah, this compare tags thing is all good, and now on collision. Oh, I guess I don't need whole thing. Well, I don't like the speed, to be honest. 150 would feel nice. Controllers. We don't need this line of code as well. Else if collision of the game object compare tag. So if it's mountains, then we better off. Then we got the okay. Mount. What is called when you can mountain climbing? Well, private boolean mountain climbing. Mountain climbing is set to false. If mountain climbing if mountain climbing. So basically, if he cannot climb the mountain, then it will put its velocity back to 0. Well, I'm not liking this format though. Yeah, let's make it like this. Yeah, that's quite easy to understand. Mountain climbing. So private void fixed update. Yeah, actually I like this private void handle movement thing. So it's sorry, what was that? So we got to do it. We just handle movement. Have the movement script. I believe it's like the update believe. Yeah, never mind. I don't know whether it should be in that time the fixed update or the update, but whatever. We can handle that. So and if yeah, you know, movement. Yeah. What the mountain climbing activate mountain climbing activated. So mountain climbing active should be on the start. Yeah, that's mountain climbing activated. Private void mountain climbing activated. So if input get key down key code точка space. So whenever it presses the space, the mountain climbing will be activated. And I need to see if it's working with the debug log. Mountain climbing activated. Mountain climbing activated. Mountain climbing activated. I don't know what's going on, but the backlog. I believe it's minor. It's minor issue. Yeah, it's like oops. Hmm. Okay, if it's physics, then it should be like this, and it has to be like this. Climbing. The mountains to has their own collider. Yeah, they just need a collider. I don't think they need a body. Oh, yeah, they don't need a rigid body. See? Oh, yeah, I'm kind of stuck. No activation. Woo. Oops. What's wrong? Lol. Well, it's activated. Yeah, it really activated. Why cannot I use the head then? Yeah, let's simplify the mountain climbing. Let's simplify the logic here a bit. Mountain climbing set to false. Oh, let's see. Hey, what's going on there? Okay, the backlog. So mountain climbing. Where is that? I need a play. I need for player. Kitty range. Mountain climbing activated. Lol. Lol. No, I got the errors. The back will move. Cannot climb. Cannot climb. Cannot climb. Oh shit! That's that 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 is that is one of the biggest mistake from my side. Oh my goodness! So it's like mountain, mountain, mountain. Then what the heck is compare tag mountain or should it be mountains? I don't care if it's mountain. Yeah, let's rename them all without S because it's just one piece of unit. One mountain, one grass, one animal. I don't care. And one tree. No, not deleting, renaming. Oops. Activated. Hmm. Why cannot I climb the mountain? Can climb. Okay, then mountain climbing. And if mountain climbing possible, Control S. Private boolean mountain climbing. Oops. Private boolean mountain climbing possible, so it is to be return false. Yeah. We don't need the normal. We got a box collider. Is trigger? No. Return true. Can climb. No, you can't climb. So, according to logic, if I delete this line, Control S, then the game's still gonna work. Something wrong here. Definitely something wrong. Player, circle collider, on dynamic. Yeah, let's use kinematic. So if it's like kinematic, then what is it? The B velocity. Dynamic. Okay, let's move on. Mountain is trigger. One trigger, enter 2D. Control S. Control B. Didn't understand anything though. Okay, where the hell are you with your collisions?
In this video, we're going to cover how to handle simple collisions in Unity. We're going to look at colliders, rigid bodies, and all the various events. Let's begin! Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey, and this channel is all about helping you learn how to make your own games with in-app tutorials made by a professional indie game developer. So if you find the video helpful, consider subscribing. Okay, so this is a very simple beginner video. I'm making this because I've seen a lot of comments by people confused with how to get collisions working. One of the issues I see is a lot of people cannot get their triggers to register. It can be a bit tricky, so let's check it out. So, for starters, let's make a new game object. Create the widget displaying these types of simple objects. Okay, and that makes sense. So here we are. So let's set move it into the fixed up just like normal. And now over here we have our rocks, and if I move towards them, yep, there you go. As you can see, I can correctly push around the rocks. Alright, so that looks good. However, let's go into the wall, and there you go. The wall does not work, and I can go straight through it. So here we have some weird issues. Now, the problem in this case is because we set our rigid body to be kinematic. So kinematic means that it will not be affected by outside forces. So as I move the rigid body towards the wall will not be able to block it. But in kinematic, it still affects other objects, so that's why we can still push these rocks around. Now here, if we modify the rigid body type from kinematic and place it as dynamic, and now we test. Okay, so here we are, and yep, I can still push the rocks. Okay, great. And now on the wall, and yep, there you go. Now the wall does indeed work as a solid object. So if you have issues with your objects not colliding, pay attention to whether or not they are supposed to be kinematic. If you want to learn more about physics interactions, including how layers and bitmaps work, then check out the video link in the description. Now let's look at a bunch more collision events. So here we played around with the on-trigger enter 2D, which gets called whenever a collider enters another one that is set to being a trigger. Then we also have the private void on collision enter 2D. This one works the same when it enters, except this works with a collider that is not set to be a trigger. And another difference is the parameter in this function is a collision instead of a collider. So the collision contains a bunch of information on the collision that happened, like all the various contact points, collision velocity, and so on. Then we also have the on collision exit and on trigger exit. So these get called whenever the collision between the two objects ends. And then finally we have the on collision stay and on trigger stay. These are called on every physics update while the collisions are active. So let's have logs on all of them. Okay, let's test. Okay, so here we are, moving around. Now let's test. So first let's collide with the wall. And there you go, we have a collision enter, a bunch of collision stays, and finally a collision exit. Then over here we have our health potion, which is set to a trigger. So that one, when you go in, yep, there you go, we have on trigger enter, a bunch of trigger stays, and a trigger exit at the end. And finally over here on the rocks, you can push them around, and there you go, we have an enter, stay, exit, just like that. Alright, so here are all of our nice collision events. Okay, now let's apply this to some interesting behavior. Okay, here's my player again. Now let's move towards the wall, and yep, Stone works as a simple solid object as it's supposed to. Okay. Now over here the rocks, let's push them, and there you go, the rocks are now somehow super heavy and they cause me some nice damage. So the player is now damaged, and over here we have the health potion, and let's use the trigger in order to go in there, capture and consume the health potion. And then all the way in here we have this very nice special circle, and as I go inside, there you go, we activate the very cool awesome shader effect, and if I go out, it gets disabled. So there you go, enabled on enter and disabled on exit. If you want to see how this cool looking shader works, then check the link in the description. So over here we have a very simple scene working with all kinds of physics interactions and collisions. Again, if you have issues with collisions, make sure that
Okay, so anyway, I didn't find a solution, but I can do something crazy, you know, else if I don't need this at all, or do I? Let's check. Yeah, I don't need them at all. Those somehow those are the static ones. So holes have a rigid body that is static. Now if we go to the mountains, they don't have a rigid body, so we got the rigid body 2D, dynamic, kinematic, static. Yeah, let's them static. And our player to be kinematic. Oh yeah, and let's play here. Yeah, this shit was working. I do believe it will work now. Stop, sorry. Let's first save the scene. Let's leave the player as the dynamic. So mountain. The rigid body, sorting layers. So we don't need the sorting rigid body. Kinematic. 0. Kinematic. So we got a mountain. Mountain script. Yeah, mountain script. Okay, so we got maybe this could be. Yeah, by the way, oopsie, I
To
need
do
this.
movement in under a minute, start by adding a square to the scene. Now click Add Component and type in Player Controller, then click.
Nah, that's another version.
In addition to that, they have a rigid body set to default update due to physics.
Yeah, it's uppercase. Don't know what is that. So here we got more mountain script, created that. Ah, yeah, serial level file, private, rigid body, rigid body 2D, mountain RB, mountain RB, so we got, oh no, public, static, uh, mountain main, private awake, private void awake, main equal this. Public void enable climbing. Enable climbing. Mountain climbing is not needed. Not needed at all. Oops, sorry. We got a mountain touch main enable climbing. Enable climbing. So just the back log. Go back to collision. that is whole. Is mounted. Cannot climb. Cannot climb. We don't need this at all. There be mountain body type to be kinematic. To be static. Static. They have to be static. Can climb. Can climb. No, no. I can't climb. Kinematic. And the backwards log can climb now. Climbing or climbing. Climbing enabled. Climbing enabled. Mountain. Mountain climbing activated. Okay. Then there is nothing on the start. Tag. And assign it the reference. Okay, wait. We got you. We're gonna fix it. Hmm. Mountain collider. Mountain. Mountain collider. this is triggered. Is triggered. Is it triggered? Ah, okay, there. So if it's triggered, it cannot have false. Control S. So here we get true. So it's going to be triggered false, and its type always be static. Non-box collider. Блин. Oh shit. Climbing activated. No, I really need an AI thing. So okay, what if we go and turn off? It's like no, we need it's okay. Here I need an AI thing, to be honest. I don't think I can handle that alone. Create folder scripts. We got the scripts, world creator, and we need to create some this one to-do list. Visual scripting, 2D sprites, animation, avatar, mask, timeline, UI. So we got home. What is it? Yeah, this baka. projects, Epic Game Studio. Yeah, it's one of my games. Where is it saved though? Where is GitHub? That's how. Mountain climbing. Rivers. Yeah, I do believe we need to add rivers some. Yeah. Grass containing animals and trees, trees and flowers. Mountain climbing rivers. Add rivers, mountain climbing. Enable. Add. Yeah, so this is that the stream is over.